Welcome to the Clean Tech Pod, your go-to source for insights on Africa's journey towards a sustainable future. We are diving deep into the world of clean technology, exploring innovative solutions, and discussing the policies that are shaping our continent's energy landscape. Whether you're an industry expert, a policymaker, or someone passionate about a greener Africa, join us as we unpack the complexities of clean energy and sustainable development.
Hello everyone, I am Samhita Shiledar from RMI. I am a director of RMI's Global Transportation Practice. RMI is a think tank that works in the field of energy efficiency for different end-use sectors. So that includes transportation, electricity, industries, and buildings. We are really excited to be here in Nigeria right now, planning to work on transportation ecosystem with a particular focus on electric vehicle adoption.
Thank you. My name is Carlin. I'm a manager with RMI's carbon-free transportation practice and working with Samhita and our team on supporting the growth of e-mobility in Nigeria.
I'm the Deputy Director of Programs at Clean Tech Hub. Thank you for being here. And my first question to you is, Nigeria is the largest importer of used cars in West Africa. So why do you think electric vehicles have a place in the country?
So I think electric vehicles offer multiple advantages, especially for Nigeria, especially with all of the extremely ambitious yet realistic targets that are there around carbon neutrality by 2060. Electric vehicles align very well with the broad growth and broad ambition that the country has. In particular, electric vehicles do not emit any air pollutants, so it is really good from the perspective of improving the air quality. Electric vehicles also have lower operating costs in current economy as compared to IC engine vehicles, so as compared to the petrol or diesel or CNG counterparts. So there is a potential for reducing costs, and more than anything, I think they also align very well with the climate targets in the sense that electric vehicles have lower greenhouse gas emissions depending on the grid reliability. So from all of these perspectives, electric vehicles have a strong place in terms of accelerating transportation ecosystem for Nigeria.
I can add to that. Like, why Nigeria? And we know from conversations with Nigerian stakeholders in transportation, they say, why EVs in Nigeria when there are challenges around the reliability of the grid, around basic transportation. And we believe that EVs are a good fit for Nigeria because they can help address two needs in Nigeria. One is cost savings for businesses and consumers, and the other is driving economic growth in the country. So EVs are clean, like Samhita said. They help reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but they're also cheaper. And that's not something everyone knows, but EVs, especially right now at the 2- and 3-wheeler size, but very soon in Nigeria at the 4-wheeler size, and eventually for all vehicle types, are cheaper than the ICE equivalents, the internal combustion engine equivalents. And with the impacts of Nigeria's fuel subsidy removal and the state of the economy, saving money for businesses and for consumers is a top priority. And EVs with the right policy and financing can help save money. The second piece is economic development. Nigeria wants to be an economic hub, the largest economy in sub-Saharan Africa. The goal in 2040, 2050 is to be an exporter, continue to be an economic powerhouse, to grow economically, to spread those benefits across the economy. The global market is headed towards EVs in Africa and for the rest of the world. And so to thoughtfully develop the lithium deposits in the country, to carefully and gradually, predictably onshore manufacturing, EV manufacturing, will put Nigeria in a strong position for economic growth. So those aren't the first two things that come to mind with EVs, but for Nigeria, I think those are the two strongest reasons.
Interesting. So Kelly, what do you think are the barriers to the adoption of e-mobility in Nigeria?
We see 4 barriers to EV adoption in Nigeria. They are availability, affordability, convenience, and awareness. And when we say availability, we mean the availability of the right models to fit use cases in Nigeria for businesses that maybe deal with rough roads, with environmental conditions in Nigeria. What works in China doesn't always work in Port Harcourt or in Ibadan. For affordability, there's a high upfront cost right now in Nigeria, higher than some markets in the world, and there's effectively a high monthly cost if it can be financed at all, because there's a lack of affordable EV financing. On convenience, there isn't reliable widespread EV charging right now, and it'd be a challenge to do that with Nigeria's grid, given the varying reliability across the country, and that many Nigerians don't have access to the grid at all. The other convenience piece is the lack of after-sales service. And the fourth barrier, awareness, is really around consumer and corporate awareness and engagement. So both consumers and corporates need to understand the potential cost savings of EVs, and then what they want from government, what they want from financiers and DFIs in terms of finance to get there. And that signal from consumers and from corporates, that can help send a very clear demand signal to policymakers, to MDBs, and to others to provide the financing and the policy needed for market growth.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. So Samhita, what are the solutions to these problems?
I think a whole system approach and multi-stakeholder collaboration is really required in terms of tackling some of the barriers that Kelly just mentioned. First of all, on the policy side, there is definitely a need for a strong policy that is effective in terms of application, in terms of disbursement as well. So there is a need for a suite of supply side, demand side, as well as infrastructure side policies. Secondly, the finance needs to be mobilized. Affordability is one of the biggest barriers to EV adoption in Nigeria right now. So from that perspective, a combination of concession financing, de-risking measures, as well as suitable business models that can reduce the cost and that can distribute the perceived and actual risk of electric vehicle adoption and electric vehicle affordability is really required in the market. The third thing that is required is technology development. So this includes creating resilient supply chain and manufacturing ecosystem with respect to electric vehicles in Nigeria, creating fit-to-purpose vehicles that meet with the market's need, that meet with the consumer's need, that meet with the need of how the roads are currently in Nigeria, and combining that with having very widespread access of charging and swapping infrastructure depending on the use case. And finally, the last piece of the puzzle is consumer awareness. So creating more and more consumer awareness and creating that demand pool for electric vehicles is really needed in the market right now. So taking any efforts from the perspective of debunking any myths or misconceptions associated with electric vehicles, as well as promoting awareness about economic benefits, about public health benefits, air quality benefits of electric vehicles can really spur the market. And how do we do that is really bringing government stakeholders, different private sector stakeholders such as vehicle manufacturers, logistics providers, any food delivery companies, logistics companies, as well as charging infrastructure, swapping infrastructure providers, and financiers together. So there is definitely a need for more and more collaboration between public-private sector and financiers to remove the silos and work in collaboration towards the EV adoption in the country.
All right, thank you very much for the conversation. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Samhita. All right. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember, your participations and feedback means the world to us. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, and stay connected for more inspiring conversations. Until next time, stay informed.